In this module, we will learn the inputs, tools and techniques, and outputs of the planned stakeholder engagement process. Planned stakeholder engagement is the process of identifying how stakeholder expectations will be managed throughout the project lifecycle. It is important to understand the difference between the stakeholder engagement plan and the stakeholder register. The stakeholder engagement plan provides a description of how the project team can optimize the engagement of positive stakeholders and minimize the concerns experienced by negative stakeholders. The PMBOK guide defines two key inputs to the planned stakeholder management process. The project management plan includes many subsidiary management plans that may be relevant to this process. For example, the communications management plan will have a strong overlap with the planned approach for stakeholder engagement. The stakeholder register was created during the identify stakeholder process. In order to properly define an approach to stakeholder engagement, it is important to understand who the project stakeholders are and what their expectations will be. For example, if an influential stakeholder has a low tolerance for cost-related risks, they will probably require frequent cost performance and risk analysis reports. Enterprise environmental factors can be a major input to defining the management approach, particularly government standards, stakeholder culture, and the organization's existing infrastructure and tools. Organizational process assets may contribute a stakeholder management plan template and lessons learned. There are three tools and techniques defined for the planned stakeholder engagement process. Expert judgment and meetings are common tools and techniques used to describe the experience and expertise that the project management team, consultants, or other project stakeholders may bring to the management of project work, as well as the collaboration that must take place among these stakeholders. Data analysis may include assumptions and constraints analysis, which is a review of assumptions and constraints documented during planning that may influence engagement strategies, as well as root cause analysis, which is used to identify the underlying reasons for stakeholder support or lack thereof to improve engagement strategy. Analytical techniques can be used to assess planned engagement levels for each major category of stakeholders, and then track engagement in monitoring and controlling. One tool for doing this is a stakeholder engagement matrix. On this matrix, a D can be placed to represent the desired state of engagement. An unaware stakeholder is one that is not knowledgeable that the project could potentially affect them. A resistant stakeholder is aware of the project and the current environment, but may be resistant to changes that may be introduced because of the project. A neutral stakeholder is aware of the project and neither supports it nor resists it. A supportive stakeholder is supportive of the changes the project will bring, and a leading stakeholder is actively engaged in helping the project succeed. The key output of this process is the Stakeholder Engagement Plan, a subsidiary plan of the Project Management Plan, documenting stakeholder engagement requirements and how stakeholder expectations will be achieved. This document will likely have a strong overlap with the Communications Management Plan, such as the information distribution requirements for key project stakeholders. Planned stakeholder engagement is the process of identifying how stakeholder expectations will be managed throughout the project lifecycle. It is important to understand the difference between the stakeholder engagement plan and the stakeholder register. The stakeholder engagement plan provides a description of how the project team can optimize the engagement of positive stakeholders and minimize the concerns experienced by negative stakeholders.